quarterback.
You mentioned that you watched the Sunday night game. Am I making too big of a leap here by saying Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love? I know, but that kid is not only is that kid balling right now, but actually they did some nice graphics during the broadcast yesterday that showed that Love is on the same exact pace that Rodgers was at these different spots of their careers.
I've been saying it since last year that I thought Love was going to take over and play really well. And I talked to him last year. I did a game in Chicago. Now, Rodgers was still the quarterback, but I ended up talking to him in Chicago on the field pregame. I've got piano playing in the background now. It's really beautiful here, Mike. I don't know if you can hear that, but
maybe you might want to break into a little Piano Man.
I'm telling you what, that's baby. Hey, what do they say? That's baby making music right there. That is beautiful. But I ended up talking to him on the field because I went back as I was preparing for the game, and I went back and just studied some games he played in early versus the game he played in last year, and just watched the grasp of what he was doing and his knowledge of the game. And you could just tell that he had grown tremendously. And I think if you sat him down and talked to him about the influence Rodgers had on him and the influence, Rodgers basically pushed is not the right word, but encouraged him to really take practice more seriously and to really start doing that. And I tell you what, there's been a big difference in what he's done this last 3 or 4 games, 5 games of the season, man. He's been pretty special. And again, last night over Kansas City, again, really, really good stuff. We said it last week that, pay attention. Here comes Green Bay. The Packers are on their way, and they're going to be, I don't know that they chase down Detroit, but they're going to be a playoff team.
Yep. Level of concern right now over the Chiefs. Something doesn't feel right there.
Too much Taylor Swift. You can't. She is. She's like Cliff Richard. She's just a devil woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the Chiefs. Is she the Chiefs, Yoko?
Yes. Yeah. She is the Chiefs. Can you say that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Okay. Yeah, it's like you're right. There's something askew there, and you keep waiting for one of these or a couple of these receivers to kind of take over and really help this offense kind of achieve that dynamic nature that it's always seemed to have, and it really just hasn't. And Travis Kelce, he takes over games occasionally, but it doesn't feel like he can take over a game like he used to take over a game kind of almost at will. It's, the old, what's the Toby Keith song? I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was, right? But those onces only come every 4 weeks. And that's tough as you age as a player. Just the totality of the season takes it takes its toll on you and your body. And so, I don't know, they just don't seem to have that same dynamic nature or that ability that when they really need a play, they can make that play. So yeah, I'm concerned about the Kansas City. Well, am I concerned about the Kansas City Chiefs? No, I'm not. They've won championships and they've done all that stuff. And so, but if you're a Chiefs fan, would I be concerned? Yeah. If you're, our buddy Nick Wright, who is the lover of all things Chiefs, should he be concerned? Yeah, he should be concerned.
Another big game for Dak Prescott in the Thursday night win over Seattle, a little closer than expected game, of course, but still he was terrific. Is Dak your front runner for MVP? And if not, who is?
Okay, well, I think Dak is obviously in that conversation. I think CJ Stroud has got to be in that conversation, not only as Rookie of the Year, but what he's been able to do in Houston, a franchise essentially left for dead as a rookie. Tua has been remarkable. But you know my hatred of all things quarterback in general, right? You mean
Yes.
they're not really football players. They should have their own little quarterbacking award. They probably do. They probably have their own little, remember when they split off and made the quarterback club? Pompous, arrogant turds, right? Like we don't. Hey, the rest of you guys, we don't want you to get in on our money. We're the quarterback club, right? All those, there's my boy Elway and Marino and all those guys. They just split off from the rest of us, because we can make more money without you guys. Well, don't you already make more money without us? Anyhow,
Ooh.
so I've never really liked quarterbacks from that standpoint. What about I did the Miami game. What about Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill has got, he is on pace to go over 2,000 yards. Now, I know that that Megatron just missed out at 1,900 and change, but he did that in 16 games. This is a 17-game schedule. But Tyreek Hill has a legitimate opportunity to go over 2,000 yards. And every time you play the Miami Dolphins, your number one objective offensively is to take number 10 out of the ball game. And you know what nobody's been able to do? Take number 10 out of the ball game. I think right now he's got like 8 games over 100 yards maybe on the season. He is flat out incredible. And I have probably talked to 7 different defensive coordinators over the last 2 years. And I talked to both Ron Rivera. I talked to Cody Barton from the Washington Commanders. I talked to a lot of people about Tyreek Hill, and everybody has said the same thing to me. As fast as he looks on film, and he looks fast on film, he is the fastest player I have ever seen in pads. The fastest player I've ever seen in pads. Like, you put pads on him and he just is another gear. And I mean, he got over the top of Washington's defense. Their whole game plan was, we're going to try to keep people underneath and trail and keep somebody over the top at all times. And we're not going to let him beat us over the top. And, when we play man, we're going to play with depth, and he's not getting over the top. And hell, the first third down of the game, he went 78. He was 5 yards behind it. He went, and just shoo. The guy's incredible. So I am all for, this, of putting real football players in the MVP discussion as opposed to quarterbacks. I think real football players should get to be in that discussion. So let me just say that I'm putting Tyreek Hill in that discussion.
Although this is quite an admission for you, because I know that most of the time you don't even like acknowledging receivers as real football players. So this is a big statement from you.
Yeah, that's normally, you are correct. Normally I don't like to do that. There's a few guys that I lift the restrictions on and let them slide under the red ropes.
Yeah.
I invite them into the gala, if you will. But dude, he's just like, again, he's a dude that everybody has a game plan for. It's kind of like the Mike Tyson thing. Like, everybody has a plan until I punch him in the face, right? It's kind of that thing.
The Detroit Lions, their last 4 games, they've averaged 38, or they've allowed, the last 4 games, they've allowed 38, 26, 29, and 28 points.
Yeah.
Is that a big red flag for them with the playoffs looming?
Sure. Yeah. I think when you look at Detroit, they're, a blue collar, and this is a compliment. They're a real blue collar team. And I think they're a blue collar team with incredible offensive talent. Like, they make plays on the offensive side of the ball. I think you can make a very compelling argument that Detroit defensively is, from a pure talent standpoint, Mike, they're middle of the pack. And maybe top of the bottom third of the pack from just a pure talent standpoint. And I'm not being derogatory. I'm just telling you kind of what they are. Aiden Hutchinson is a very talented player. But that he's the one dude that you say, hey man, we got to take that guy out of the game plan. And ultimately, like, Alex Anzalone is a really, really good player. what's the kid? McNeil in the inside, good player. They've got Tracy Walker at the safety position is a good player. They have got good players, but ultimately there's not one guy other than Aiden Hutchinson that gives you pause as an offense. And I always just think about it this way is when you play offense and you game plan as an offense, there are certain guys on a defense that you look at and say, okay, we break the huddle, bam, we got to find that guy, and we have to have a plan for that guy at all times. Now, one dude like Aiden Hutchinson, it's pretty easy. Like, all right, we're going to slide to him. We're going to, we're going to chip him. We're going to line a tight end over there. We're going to use the tools at our disposal to take him out of the game because ultimately we feel like we're pretty confident going one-on-one with everybody else across the board. Now, when you start adding 2 guys and 3 guys, that's when it gets tricky because then you've got to pick, who's going to wear the hat. Like, hey, one of you guys is going to have to hold up on a dude, right? One of you guys is going to have to hold up on a guy, and now we're going to try to change that hat every play. So we still take out the top dude, but every play we try to get a double team somewhere else just to be fair, just to take some of the onus off your offense. But when you really only have one dude that you're concerned about, life is pretty simple. Yeah, it's pretty easy. And I think, and I'm not like people in Detroit are going to be like, they get pissed at me and say, hey man, that's not right. But I'm 100% right. Like they have, and they played. Let me just preface this by saying Dan Campbell has them playing. They play hard. They play aggressive. They are tough. Like their corners will tackle. I don't have any issues at all with the way they play. But if you're honest, and if they're honest, they'll sit there and tell you we're not the most talented football team, especially on the defensive side. On the defensive side, I think offensively they're very talented. Defensively, I think they're limited talent-wise.
Hey, for everybody involved in the Stinky Truth, we thank you so much. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. If you want to see more of our videos, you can also be sure to check out our playlist. Let us know exactly what you think in the comments below. We appreciate you guys so much for being a part of that.
Don't forget to follow us on social media to stay up to date on our latest updates. Links are in the description. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.